Hello guys, how are you? I hope you are doing great. Just like usual, I will bring an interesting movie storyline. In this video, we will discuss a horror movie which is The Spider in the Attic. Before we jump into the story, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe and hit the bell button so you won't miss the next video. So, here comes the story. The film starts with a man named Mr. Zeiserman, who was also a scientist, doing an experiment in a room. He was looking at a spider specimen that had been created after 383 days of experimentation. The spider moved and showed the traits that the man wanted. One night the scientist went to sleep, suddenly something attacked him, and then a scream was heard. The scene switches to a woman named Linda who was talking to her boss. Linda was a radio reporter who had a program that discussed the criminal world. The boss complained that Linda's program did not get many listeners, so that her broadcast slot was reduced. Linda then asked for time to analyze why her audience was decreasing day by day. Later that night, Linda talked to her pregnant daughter, Belle, about her reduced broadcast hours. The daughter suggested that Linda should look for a new case that no one had ever known about and polish the show so that it would be more interesting. The next day, Linda's other daughter, Lucy, returned home after completing her duty as a soldier. They were talking, and Lucy said that she was going to take a temporary leave. Soon, Belle came and they were happy to hear that Belle was about to give birth to a daughter. After that, Belle and Lucy were talking in the room. They discussed the work problems her mother was experiencing. Both of them decided to help their mother find a new case that would make her show have a lot of listeners. Lucy and Belle also talked about the father of the baby Belle will give birth to. Lucy said if her boyfriend was still not committed and he was not fully responsible for Belle and her future child. In the evening, Lucy, who was having dinner with Linda, came up with an idea for her mother's problem. Lucy told Linda about a case which was found out by the army, but they kept it secret. It was about scientists who did extreme experiments on animals just like in the Nazi era. Lucy suggested to Linda to have an interview with the scientist and make the show more controversial. Linda agreed. The next day, Linda went to her boss, Shauna, and Lorena to ask them to talk about her show. Linda asked Shauna to fund her interview project with the scientist. At first Shauna didn't agree, but because Lorena said that this idea could work, Shauna agreed on the condition that she and Lorena would come with Linda and her children. Then, we can see Linda and her children as well as Danny, Belle's lover, who was also on a trip to the scientist's place. Few moments later, they arrived at the house of a scientist named Mr. Zeiserman. There, Linda and her children also met Linda's boss, Shauna and Lorena. They knocked on the door, but no one answered. Knowing this, Lucy tried to break into a window and open the back door of the house. They managed to get in, but still they couldn't find anyone inside. The house looked very messy, and because they couldn't find anything, Linda's boss complained. However, Linda said she could take advantage of the atmosphere and created a more interesting mystery story. Meanwhile, Belle and her boyfriend Danny seemed to be arguing about the child Bella will soon give birth to. Bella told Danny the gender of the child, but Danny didn't seem happy because he wants it to be a surprise when the baby is born. Lucy also came to intervene, but Danny felt uncomfortable, and finally he decided to go out of the house. Linda continued to explore the house until she arrived at a room. She heard a voice from the room, and when she looked for it, Linda was surprised to see a big spider on the bed. He immediately came out of the room, and elsewhere, Shauna found Mr. Zeiserman's corpse, which had been covered in cobwebs. Seeing this, they argued that the spider was the result of the experiment that killed Mr. Zeiserman. Shauna wanted to leave the place immediately because breaking into the house is illegal, but Linda asked to stay in the house at night to investigate the place. Linda assured Shauna that this case would blow the show off. Shauna agreed and they spent the night in the house. Later, Danny and Belle had another fight. Danny says he doesn't want Belle's baby and leaves. Meanwhile, Linda and her colleagues are still researching Mr. Zeiserman's rotting corpse. While there, they heard a fairly loud sound from the roof. While outside, Danny heard a voice from another room. Then he entered and saw a spider on the roof suddenly attacking his face. Elsewhere, Lucy and Belle were talking. Lucy said that she didn't feel happy being a soldier because her life became monotonous. She envied Belle, who had a family and will soon have a child. Hearing this, Belle suggested that Lucy just stop being a soldier if she wasn't happy. Linda and her partner, Lorena, were curious about the sound they heard. Realizing the sound was coming from the attic, they went upstairs. There they found a broken cage as well as a weapon. They also found an audio recording containing Mr. Zeiserman's voice and story. After listening to the recording, they learned that Mr. Zeiserman has succeeded in developing a creature from the DNA of an unknown creature. The experiment was successful and the creature grew as desired. Meanwhile, Belle went out looking for Danny, who has been missing for a long time. She also entered a room that had previously been visited by Danny. How surprised Belle was to see his lover lying stiff and covered in cobwebs. Danny died from the spider attack he got earlier. The audio recording was still on, and Mr. Zeiserman continues to narrate the creatures he developed. He said that the creatures he developed could grow quickly and were able to infect and eat the bodies of their hosts. Shauna became very anxious and afraid. She decided not to participate in the Linda project and immediately left the house. Shauna rushed to the car, but suddenly a large spider monster attacked her face. Linda and the others heard Shauna's screams. They saw Shauna being attacked until her body was eaten by the creature. Linda, Lorena, and Lucy were so shocked and scared that they went back into the house. Inside, Linda said she has a weapon that might help them defend themselves. The big spider creature they saw outside could be the mother of Nother spiders. They also planned to contact the police to help them. While in the house, Linda almost shot Lucy, who came into the room thinking it was a spider. Lorena came back from the other room and said that she couldn't contact security because the phone line was down. Lucy took the pistol from Linda and went outside to save Belle, who they realized was outside. Then finally, Lucy found Belle in a room that turned out to be the nest of the spider monsters. Lucy asked Belle to leave the place immediately, but Belle was scared because her amniotic fluid was leaking. Lucy immediately helped her sister leave the place and return to the house. Belle screamed in pain because she was about to give birth. Lorena told Linda that they needed to get Belle to the hospital immediately to give birth. She couldn't give birth at the house without the doctor's help. Linda hesitated because there was a very large spider waiting for them outside. Lorena also came up with an idea to lure the spiders to a place and then they burn it. Lucy then tried to find the spider in the house to destroy it. When she entered Mr. Zeiserman's room, she saw the spider was there and immediately shot it. Hearing gunshots, Linda asked Lorena to check on Lucy and luckily Lucy was fine. Lorena told Lucy to take her sister to the hospital immediately. Lorena also invited Lucy to trap a large spider that was outside to enter the house and then set it on fire. Belle was getting more and more pain because her baby was about to be born. Linda accompanied Belle while trying to calm her down. When she was about to get a blanket for the princess, Linda saw a spider hanging around her. She hid as soon as possible. Few moments later, Belle, who was lying in the living room and in pain, saw a huge spider enter the house. She directly hid under the dining table. Meanwhile, Lucy and Lorena were now heading to the attic and trying to kill the spiders that were there. Linda, who returned to the room, saw Belle, who was hiding, and immediately went into hiding with her. Lucy and Lorena came down from the attic and saw a big spider in the house. Lorena then entered the room. The spider chased and immediately caught Lorena. Lucy, who saw the incident, immediately spread gasoline to burn the spiders. After that, Lucy left the room and asked her mother to take Belle away from that place. After her mother left the house, Lucy again spread gasoline around the room and started burning it. Then, Lucy immediately left the house to run away with her mother. But before they got into the car, suddenly a bigger spider appeared not far from where they were standing. Linda and Belle just got into the car while Lucy was shocked and couldn't believe what she had seen. And the movie ends. So, that was all the storyline of the movie. Pretty interesting, right? I hope you enjoy the video and please give a thumb up, subscribe and share with your friends. See you in the next video.